Welcome back, Scary Dolls.
Hello.
I'm Mandy.
I'm Ashley.
I'm Caro.
She's back from space.
Yay! I'm back. You know how they say, like, all my exes live in Texas? Well, all my exes live in Mars. I dated all the aliens in the short week that I was there.
Were they cute?
No, but, you know, they bought me stuff.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
You're listening to Scary Not Scary podcast, of course.
Yay! Sorry.
We're
got
back
distracted.
Yay!
Yay!
Finally.
I know.
Yay. We missed
So
you.
excited. Missed you guys.
You're not allowed to get abducted anymore.
Okay, fine. I got it all out of my system, so
Yeah.
we're good.
So
I'm not funny.
is outer space ghetto like Earth or no?
Actually, it's more ghetto than Earth.
More ghetto?
Yeah.
Ay, Dios.
There's nothing to do. Just, you know, sky sea, or what is it?
Sky sea.
Look at the stars.
Yeah, that's all I did all day.
Did you bring me back moon rocks?
Hell yeah, I did.
Well, Ash, do you want to tell everybody your announcement now that we're finally together?
Yes, I waited till you got
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
back. Okay. So while you were off in Mars, I got engaged!
Yay!
Yes, I'm so excited.
Yay!
Wedding
Nick.
planning.
Oh my god,
Mhm.
that sounds fun.
But yeah, I'm excited. I got so excited because my sister's like really excited about it.
Yeah.
So she's been like helping me and like sending me things. She's like, oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. And so I'm like, oh, you're making me excited. Like, okay.
Do you have like a theme yet, or is it a surprise?
No, not yet.
Mm.
Still trying to think about it. But I am going to go see some venues on Wednesday.
Oh my
I'm
god,
gonna
it's
see
getting
two.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember those days.
I'm like,
I don't.
I wouldn't do
I
it
don't.
over again, though.
no.
I'm fine.
She's like, one time, I'm done.
I
That's
have
it.
so much anxiety. I probably would just have someone else just do the whole thing for
Yeah.
me, and then I just
That's
show
what I
up the
kind of
day
told
of.
my sister. I
I'm
was
like,
like,
I'll
you
just show
know,
up. I trust you. Okay, goodbye.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't mind, like, getting married, like redoing the day over. You know what I mean? But, like, as far as planning, no. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Oh, how
Like, not gonna lie,
fun.
when we started looking at venues and my sister was sending me things, I started looking at like the prices and like all this stuff, and I was like, okay.
So I was overwhelmed too, but the easiest thing, I think the best thing for y'all to do is figure out a budget and then go based off of your budget.
Yeah.
Because if you just start like looking at venues, and if you start looking at vendors, and if you don't know what your budget is, then that's when it starts getting expensive. But if you
Mhm.
just stay within your budget and
It'll
like
help.
price everything that way, it'll help. Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, don't go all extreme cheapskates, because I saw an episode where this guy wanted to make a party for his wife. $20.
$20?
Yeah.
How are you gonna do a party for $20?
I have no idea, but he did it, and it was the grossest party I've ever seen.
Sliced
What was
cheese and
this
deli
on?
meat.
It was on Extreme Cheapskates.
Oh my god.
He went to the store and bought
my
like
dad.
he bought like 4 cake pops, and he was telling people to share them.
Oh
And then
No.
he went to the dollar store and got the balloons that were on sale. So the balloons were all different kinds. Like one said, happy 50th birthday. One said, congratulations on the baby. Like just, he's like, all she needs is balloons. And then for food, he like digged for leftovers and like restaurant. Oh,
Oh
he
no.
was throwing a party for his wife.
yes. An anniversary party, I think,
Divorce.
or something like that.
No.
Where are those papers?
Oh hell no.
He's like 20. He went to get the cake, and the lady's like, okay, what's your budget? He's like, oh, 20. She's like, oh, that's good. Like 20, like, I guess she thought like
200 or
2,000
20,000
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, no, $20. And she's like, let me
You
get you some
can't-
cake pops.
I'm like, you can't do that, dude. No.
Like my dad's
Mm.
cheap, but he's not that cheap.
Yeah. Oh, horrible. Okay, sorry, we got off.
That's
track.
crazy.
But I'm so
Mm-mm.
happy for you, Ashley.
Gracias. I'm excited.
I'm excited for you.
Yes.
Yay! So when's the bachelorette?
I don't know yet.
Okay, so we can wait till after I have the baby, right?
Oh yes.
Okay, thank God.
It'll be after.
Because I'm ready to drink.
Get my drink on.
It's so bad, but I've been craving alcohol, and I had to tell
Really?
my OBGYN. I was like, look, I didn't have this with my daughter. I was like, but with this little boy, like, I want like margaritas. I want like a hurricane. Like, I want a cucumber martini. Like, I don't know why. I just want alcohol.
Ooh, cucumber
and she was
martini.
like, it's normal, but stay away from it.
I know you're craving it, but no.
I was like, well, duh, I'm going to stay away. But yeah,
wow.
it's bad. It's so bad. I'm so ready to drink. Not right now, obviously.
You're like, I'm sorry.
I'm going to get a knock at the door from like CPS. Or was it? Yeah, CPS.
Be like, excuse me.
We heard you.
Don't
wanted to
report me. I'm
drink.
not really drinking. I'm not stupid. Take a joke.
Mm-hmm.
At least I'm not craving dirt.
Oh yeah,
Just some pregnant women that crave dirt.
or cemetery dirt to be specific. Some people
Really?
Mhm.
I think my cousin, she would
did.
like to smell leaves. Like from outside, she'd go and grab it and just smell it. And I
That's
was like,
weird.
what the fuck?
I've
you know what?
never
I
craved any
lied.
of that.
When I think it's a Mexican thing, when you crave dirt and you're pregnant, you have to go to the cemetery, grab dirt from the cemetery, and eat it, and that's gonna make your cravings for dirt stop.
Oh, my grandma told me that before.
What?
It's
I
a
know,
Mexican thing.
Mexico.
Well, that's good to know.
She asked me. She did ask me if I was craving dirt. I was like, I looked at her. I was like,
No.
She's just gonna take you to the cemetery
I
and
know.
to lick the floor.
I
She's
just
like,
looked at her.
here,
and
eat this.
No, I was
I
like,
got
but
it for
I'm
you.
craving your rice and beans. So can you make me some?
Ooh, don't talk about food right now.
Oh, sorry.
Food.
We're gonna have family dinner after we're done.
Yes, so excited.
Starving.
So yay, we're excited for you, Ash.
I know, because I remember Mandy's day and we were all there and getting our hair done. And how
We're
fun.
going to do it again.
How fun.
Girl, it was fun, but yeah. If you need help, let me know.
Definitely.
Yeah, not me.
For sure, I know we did say that we wanted to try and have it in October. And then one of the venues, the guy was like, well, I have October 30th open. And I was all, the day before Halloween? Really?
I've always
And then
wanted a
Nick, he got like all
Halloween
excited. He's all, really? And I was like, no, we're not going to have it the day before Halloween.
wedding. I would have.
Would it be, what next year would be what, a Sunday?
We're possibly thinking of doing it on a Sunday because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And so I'm
Fridays?
Friday.
Fridays
Yeah.
and Sundays are cheaper.
Mhm.
yeah.
You could do a Friday.
Yeah. We're like
Friday.
Friday or Sunday, one of those. So
Sorry, I keep
track.
on my tablet. I keep accidentally pressing the keyboard, and I'm not meaning to do the keyboard. Okay, so let's get started.
We got a little off track. Sorry.
We did. We always do, but it's because we're back. I know you
I
missed
know.
us
Yay.
gossiping. We didn't gossip this much with Tim, I don't think.
no.
Yeah,
He was
no.
probably like, "Let's get to it."
I think he was just kind of like watching me and Ash like going back and forth. And he's like, "Yeah, yeah."
Yeah.
It's funny.
Just nod your head and say yes.
Smiling on. Smiling on.
Smile and wave, boys.
Smile and wave.
So, there are a lot of legends that originate from the Native American folklores. A lot of these legends are said not to be talked about, or even mentioning them can be a bad omen. And this is because they're deemed to be so horrid, vile, and evil. And with that being said, today we are talking about the Anadlushi, the Navajo Skinwalkers.
Dun 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 dun.
Dun.
Wait, hold up. Did anybody bring holy water?
I have
we
some.
have sage candles.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're
there's.
cool.
I have sage downstairs.
Okay, cool.
Holy
We can
water.
sage, don't
We good.
We're good. We're Gucci. I
We
don't know
got
about
this.
everybody else listening to this. Sorry, guys.
Go to your local what is it, church? They should have a knob outside that says holy water. Get a bottle, girl, and
Bring
fill
it
it up.
and fill it up.
So, in case y'all don't know, skinwalkers, and it's kind of freaky that we're even talking about skinwalkers because they say you're not supposed to like talk about them, think about them, research them, or anything, or else they'll come looking for you.
We didn't tell Ashley that part.
I was
We
about
did
to
it.
say, now you tell me this?
We
fun.
did not tell her this. We were just like, yeah, we're going to do skinwalkers. And this was actually a listener suggestion. So thank you so much.
No, thank you, ma'am or sir.
It was a sir.
Sir.
On Instagram.
That's so funny.
Well, then that, okay, not gonna lie, that makes it even more creepier because I had a scary story to tell. And
You
now that
have
makes
one
it
that's
even, yes.
Is it a
Oh
skinwalker?
my
one?
lord.
I don't know,
Oh.
but it's creepy.
I'm excited.
creepypasta.
Crispy.
So now that makes even more sense. And my dad, he was like, I was cleaning out the apartment. There was like holy water. He's all, please drink it. Just drink it right now. And I was like, oh
Drink
my God.
it.
It's probably because you're researching
I think
skinwalkers.
so.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Sorry, we didn't tell you that, but
My bad.
Ay,
So,
Dios.
in case you don't know, skinwalkers are pretty much shapeshifters, which means you can transform into an animal or a loose object. Well, this is an object. This is actually in loose terms, like in general. Shapeshifter, you can turn into like a wolf, a fox, a computer, a table, loose terms. But Navajo, obviously, they shapeshift into animals. So the biggest hint that we get is from their native name, Nadlushin. It's called Natlushin. Yeah, Natlushin. In the Navajo language, this translates to he or she who goes on all fours. But that does not limit the kind of animals that they can transform into. So pretty much like they can transform into any kind of animal. There's no limit. Unlike it's not just a four-legged animal. They can transform into like an owl, a bird, a dog. Like apparently like skinwalkers could be anybody. Yeah. So
What?
the Navajo saw skinwalkers as powerful witches or corrupt medicine men who attained to the highest level of priesthood, but instead they chose to use their supernatural abilities to inflict harm and suffering on others. In the Navajo skinwalkers, the Navajo, they don't like to openly talk about skinwalkers, especially for the reason being that they're scared of the repercussions of talking about the supernatural. And they especially do not like to talk about skinwalkers with outsiders. So they don't like to talk about skinwalkers within their tribe, and they don't like to talk about skinwalkers outside of their tribe. So people that are not Navajo, absolutely not. Like that's not part of their beliefs or anything. They choose to just keep it quiet. So supposedly skinwalkers only practice amongst their own kind. So pretty much no one knows exactly or who exactly a skinwalker is. It could be your friend, your neighbor, a family member, mailman, boss, me, Gato, Ashley, you listening. You're probably a skinwalker and you're like, why are these bitches talking about me?
Oh, hell no.
So it can pretty much be anybody. So skinwalkers make their animal transformation at night. The most common animal is a coyote, which is often known as a trickster. And in case you didn't know, coyotes can make sounds like humans, laughs, cries. Some even say that coyotes can trick people from like being lured away from like their groups. So like let's say you go camping somewhere, and coyotes can make sounds that sound like even like baby cry. Or like humans laughing or crying. I've read a lot of stories that coyotes can also almost say your name. So like they can like hunt around you and like they get so used to like hearing humans talk that supposedly they can sound like humans too.
They can mimic. Oh, that's weird.
Right. They're like mimics. Like they can mimic humans. So they're pretty much tricksters. So other animals are foxes, wolves, owls, eagles, crows. It just depends on what each animal requires, it just depends on what different unique abilities like the animals have. So like, let's say like crows. Crows is like a symbol of death. So let's say a skinwalker wants to turn into a crow because they want to warn somebody about death. Or like an owl would be, they're just kind of night prowlers. They're just like, searching through the night, like eavesdropping, whatever. Foxes, they're also said to be manipulative tricksters as well. Wolves, they hunt. Another thing what they say about skinwalkers is that when you see one, you'll kind of know it's a skinwalker because even when they take their animal form, they have like unique abilities. Like they're faster, they stand up on their hind legs, they have like human features almost. Yeah. So a lot of the questions that I found online was, what does it take to become a skinwalker? Now this is very broad. I couldn't really find like a specific answer. There's like so many things that people are writing in or like assumptions. So like nobody really knows, of course, except the Navajo. But there are many legends that say that you have to take the life of someone close to you. So this can be like a family or friend in order for you to completely transform into a skinwalker. Others say that you have to sell your soul. Different rituals. There's also different rituals that need to be performed to prove your worth. the list goes on and on pretty much. So like we really don't know what exactly it takes to become a skinwalker. So like I said before, skinwalkers can mimic the sound or voice of any animal or human. So sometimes this can lure people away so the skinwalkers can get their victims alone. So we really don't know exactly like what skinwalkers want. A lot of this could be just because they want to be ugly and malicious and evil to people and scare the shit out of them, which I'm pretty sure if I was a skinwalker, that's what I would do. I would go to like my worst enemy and like just scare the crap out of them.
True.
So the transformation with the skinwalker comes with enhanced stamina, strength, and speed. So trying to catch a skinwalker in animal form is nearly impossible. So I'm 100% sure that every skinwalker encounter that you read about, the witnesses say it moved faster than any other animal. It was there 1 minute and gone the next. It looked like a dog or it looked like a wolf, but it wasn't. Like, I don't know if maybe in y'all's stories, y'all read that a lot.
Yeah.
So a lot of the encounters that people talk about is they're saying that these animals are animals, but not really, that there's something different about them. Also, what I found is that skinwalkers are also capable of reading the human mind. And if one was to stare into the eyes of a skinwalker for a long period of time, they can enter your mind and take control of your body.
What?
Dang.
Yes. So if you happen to run into a skinwalker,
Don't look at it.
don't look at it straight into its eyes because it can completely take over you. Almost like possess you.
That's a good
hell
word.
no.
That's a
Yeah.
good word.
So I did try researching how to kill a skinwalker, but there isn't much to go on. Like, there's there's a lot of like hunters. There's a lot of people that hunt them and they can't, like, there's nothing in the record that says that somebody has caught a skinwalker at all. You cannot catch these human animal hybrid things. Like you can't.
That's
They're just too fast. So some believe saying the name of the skinwalker out loud results in them having to answer. So let me just go back and explain this. So you can't like kill a skinwalker. I couldn't really find anything of it. But similar to I don't know if y'all know this about werewolves. I only know this because I researched werewolves a lot. I have like a book downstairs about werewolves. But werewolves, if you know their name, like their their human name, they can transform back into a human or like they can die or whatever. So they say the same thing about skinwalkers. If you know who they are and if you know their name, you say their name and supposedly they can like answer to all of their ugly deeds that they've done and then they can die. Supposedly that's what one of the articles said. There's another article that stated that it's difficult to say for sure what a skinwalker's motives are. They may be seen as evil, but at the same time, they are human. And unlike some humans, they are driven by their own selfish and malicious nature. So skinwalkers could just be ugly, malicious people that just want to bring like horror and evil upon others. You know what I mean? So we really don't know like what they want. There's really no like, it's just so broad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, of course, none of this has been proven. Like, if you say a skinwalker's name, if it can kill them, nobody's caught a skinwalker or killed a skinwalker, so we really don't know how to stop them.
Yeah.
There are hundreds, even thousands of stories of people encountering skinwalkers, but of course none of these have been proven. But for me, it's too much of a coincidence that people experience these animals and say that they're running faster or standing on their hind legs.
Yeah.
Sin. I don't know if y'all remember, but Sin wrote in a story and said that he was driving down the road and he saw a dog standing on his hind legs.
That's right.
And Sin, I truly think you saw a skinwalker.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they're not just wolves and foxes and stuff that they turn into. They can turn into like animals, like cats, dogs, pet birds. I don't know about fish.
I was just about to say, even a fish?
I don't know about fish, but
Imagine
I have
little
read
fish with, like,
I have read a
muscles.
couple of stories where people say that they saw like a German Shepherd, and the German Shepherd was like standing on its hind legs. Like at night, you know, and then I
Those
remember
are
when,
big dogs.
and then Sin actually drew a sketch of the picture
Yeah.
of the dog that he saw standing on its hind legs. I'm gonna message him and ask him if we can share that like on Instagram and Facebook.
I'm sure it's I think cool.
But yeah, Sid, I really think you saw a skinwalker.
Yeah, me too.
So, just real quick. So, I did find a story about a cryptid hunter. So, he hunts like cryptid creatures.
Mm-hmm.
And he did say that he did encounter a skinwalker, and his encounter was the reason why he wanted to retire.
It was that bad.
Really?
Mm-hmm. And he said that the skinwalker that he had encountered taunted him for months. It was stalking him, mimicking the voice of his housemate to lure him away. It followed him as he traveled. It was like, it even went under disguise of like different animals. It entered his dreams. He said that it never physically attacked him, although it definitely showed signs of like malevolence. Like this thing was just like tormenting him. And he said that this encounter he said it lasted like months. It just wouldn't leave him alone. No matter where he moved, no matter how far he went away, like
it found him.
It followed him wherever he went. So he did say that he was like in paranoid hell. Like he says here, I'm sure if I had not distracted myself from the creature and ended my hunting, it would have tried to hurt me at some point. So it's because he was trying to hunt skinwalkers at this point. He did encounter one, and since then it's like it was like pretty much stalking him.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He did say that other people, when he would talk about it with other people, that they had told him that the creatures are intelligent. And that he said that there was one night he was laying in bed and he thought he heard somebody calling his name outside. And he said he looked and he just saw like, he said that he couldn't even explain it. He said that it was not a wolf, but not a dog, but not a human, but just like something like crouched and like just standing there in like the middle of like the field, just staring at him. But it was like saying his name over and over, like trying to get him outside, like luring him away. And he said for the split moment that he was staring at it, he almost felt like it was hypnotizing him. So he looked away.
Can you imagine it hypnotizing you?
Yeah. So he did say that he had to talk to a shaman and talk to a couple of people in the Navajo. And of course, a lot of these people didn't want to talk about it or help him because they didn't want it to like come back 3 times fold and like follow them.
Yeah.
But he did end up finding somebody who was willing to help him. And they did like this house ritual. They put like these things around his house, buried under the ground, like in the dirt to protect him. So he did say it's been a couple of months and he hasn't encountered that skinwalker anymore. So he's hoping whatever the Navajo doctor did helped. But he said that because of this, it was psychological torture and he decided to retire from cryptid hunting.
God damn.
That bad.
It was that bad for him. Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Nope. If I hear something outside like calling my name, I'm not gonna go towards it.
Hell no. I'm putting my headphones in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, you know what? You would probably I would probably look.
Yeah.
Who is it?
I also read too that they can sound like babies crying. Like, can you imagine like being somewhere and you hear a baby cry? Of course, like you're not gonna just walk off. Like, I would go check.
I would walk away.
Well, yeah, because you have kids.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that's true.
Kids.
I would be like, nope.
Where's your mom? I'd be like, where's your mom?
Where's your parent?
I feel like I would do that.
Yeah, I feel like you would look.
I feel like I would be like, crap, like, what if it's a real baby? And then I'd feel really bad and I'd be like torn, like, oh, but I don't want to go look at it.
No, yeah, I think I would probably look, but also you got to be careful because that's how those like rapers and stuff lure women in.
Yeah.
Go with a knife. So
that's just a brief summary of what skinwalkers are, or what I could find and scrounge up.
That was good though. You kept me on my toes, even though I was sitting down.
Well, I saw Ash, like, eyes getting bigger and bigger.
Oh, especially when you said we can't talk about them.
Yeah, I was talking about that. And I said their name in the Navajo language.
It's okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Yay.
Okay, so I'm next. I got some encounter stories. This first one is from Reddit. Username BurnEvil000.
I love it.
This is called My True Skinwalker Story. So I'm gonna kind of like synopsis. I learned that word from Ashley. Synopsis the story because it was like super long. Nobody got time for that. So let's start. Basically, these young high school boys were like hanging out, and they were all like Navajo in some way because they lived in a Navajo Nation reservation in a small town called Shiprock. So these three boys were around like 16, 17 years old. They were kind of like rebels. They would go out at night and smoke and like stay out till all hours of the morning. So there's this spot. It was like their hangout spot. It's called Paradise. So it was a giant metal pipe that carries water to all like the little farms in that area. And that's where like all the cool kids would like hang out and go drink and smoke, you know, like teenage activities and all that. So the place was already said to kind of be haunted because there was a lot of stories of kids and adults drowning there at night. So it was like 3 a.m. and they were walking through Paradise and they see like a sheep, I guess, or a goat skin that was like placed flat on the floor. Then they started walking on the pipe, and then one of the other guys said he saw like a pentagram. Somebody drew like a pentagram on the pipe, which was like, they weren't scared, but they were just like, okay, like that's random. So like they kept going, they kept walking on the pipe. And there was like a light off to the distance because there was like a church like far out. But on that light, they could see a black figure with pointy ears. So kind of like a big dog. So they were looking at this big dog, like from where they were standing. So they said like to picture the werewolf from Twilight standing on its hind legs. That's how big it was. And then so one of the guys says, "I'm not scared of you, you skinwalker." He yells at it. And then he takes out a few rocks that he has in his pocket. And so the dog shadow like heard that, and he like looked, and then 2 more came out of nowhere. So there was 3 pointy dog-eared people on the hill staring at them. So they were like multiplying.
And they were like taunting them too, so that didn't help.
So they started to run back to the car, and then they heard a girl crying, and they're like, there's no girls here. So that's when they kind of figured that the skinwalkers were trying to like lure them back in. And then so it sounded like there was a girl that was hurt, and then they had like a gut feeling to tell them to keep running. So as they're running, one of the guys yells like, "Don't stop, it's a trap." So as soon as the guy says, "Don't stop, it's a trap," the crying stops. Like the girl, they don't hear the girl anymore. And then they hear like a native drum playing in the background. They just start hearing the drum playing. After that, they like got into the car, and then they like took off home. They went back the next morning because they did kind of feel bad. They felt like they had left like if there was a girl like that, they left her behind. There was nobody there, no signs of anyone, but there was a coyote. And he wasn't vicious or anything. He was just whimpering behind like a bush. So they found a coyote behind a bush. But can you like imagine you're running down and you just hear a native drum? Like, fuck, that was kind of scary, right?
If I heard that, I would run as fast as I could. For being a fat person, I would run fast.
Stop.
I would like run for my life.
This one is, I'm tasting blood in my mouth.
I bit my lip earlier.
Oh,
the skinwalkers are like, "Don't talk about me. Don't talk about me."
This one is from Ranker.com. It's called Tap, Tap, Tap at the Window.
Ooh.
So this story is about a kid who went with his uncle to chop wood for his grandmother. So they finished and packed up and started like driving down a small road going about like 30 miles per hour. So the boy said he started to feel like he had like this strong feeling that he was being watched. But before he could look out the window, his uncle yelled, "Don't." And then the kid would like just froze, and he was scared, and his heart felt like it stopped. Then he started hearing taps on the window. Then his uncle was speeding up and started like praying in their native language. And then he thought it was working because the tapping stopped. But then his uncle kept telling him like to look at him and to not look away. And so this is all happening while they're driving. And so then the tapping started again, but this time it was from the back window. And then they felt like the truck did like a dip and then it stopped. And then the uncle told the kid like to tell their dad to say a prayer so that the evil will forget their faces. So then the uncle started like singing some prayers all the way home, and then time passes and like, I guess this just happened real quick, and then like time passes and now the kid is all grown up, and he finally asked his uncle like what he saw that night. And the uncle said he saw glowing eyes that were staring at him through the window, and that he saw more eyes because whatever it was wasn't alone. So whatever it was just following them.
Oh, no.
I know, right? So scary.
Oh my God. I can't even imagine.
That's
Oh,
scary.
and I did read too that they can travel in packs.
Yeah.
Why?
But imagine the one that's driving. Like, I wouldn't have kept my cool. Would have been like swerving to hit him. No, bitch. Like, oh, that's scary.
Oh my gosh.
One more story. This one is from Reddit too. This Redditor is called Endless. I don't know how to say that. So, this story takes place in the 80s. It says, my sister who lived in Toronto came down to visit our parents for the weekend. She was staying at a friend's house who loaned her car so she could come out. After a visit, she left a little after 9 p.m. She got maybe like 7 or 8 miles down when her car broke down. She broke down in front of a friend of the family's house, so they let her call her dad. Her dad came to get her. Then the family said she could leave the car in the driveway for the night. So the sister got in to the car with her dad, and then it was already like after 10 p.m. or whatever, and it was like pitch black. And then it says that the sister and the dad were driving back to the house, and then they were driving through this heavily wooded area. And then out of nowhere, they hear this like really, really loud, inhuman like scream. And it was so loud that they could hear it over the engine. And then, and it was also so loud because they had the radio on that it was over the radio, and said the dad slammed on the brakes and they both started freaking out. And then suddenly there was like a 6-foot tall coyote, and he was walking on his 2 legs, and then with a white and black striped tail. And then also, so they thought it was a skinwalker. So it said that the coyote just went in front of them, and then it just proceeded to like walk in front of the car. And as soon as it passed it started like screaming again. So I guess he just walked across the street and then yelled at them for some reason. And that the scream was so loud, it was like 10 times louder. And then the dad just like slammed on the accelerator, and then they like got out of there. But I think this one they said
was
was
their car.
Yeah, I think this one wasn't trying to hurt them, probably just trying to scare them to get out of the road. But that one was it. Like, they just saw it and they screamed at them, and then
like,
they left.
But instead of a fox, can you imagine like a little poodle like walking across the street, and it's just like, ah!
Yeah. But this one was a coyote. What does it say?
Ash is like,
Coyote.
hell no.
6 foot tall.
Coyote.
Oh, hell.
On 2 legs. But I don't this one was just probably just like chilling, this skinwalker.
Just living his life.
Yeah, because it says he just walked in front of the car, and then like when it crossed the road, it yelled at them like, wah.
Yeah, well, because I'm pretty sure there's skinwalkers out there that aren't evil. You know?
Maybe they're just trying to make people aware that they're there.
Maybe.
No?
Maybe.
Hell no. He said I would have stepped on it too. Bye.
I wouldn't have pressed on my brakes the first time. I would have heard that scream and just kept going.
Yeah. Well, it was crossing the road.
Oh, I would have hit it.
I would not hit it. Like, that's a 6 foot tall thing. Like, what if it just like grabbed the top of your car and flipped it or something?
I don't know why, but like when you said 6 foot tall, like coyote thing, I thought of those things from Stranger Things. The one that
Demogorgons.
Yeah, that's what I'm envisioning in my head.
I didn't think about that. Well, this whole time I've been thinking about Jacob from Twilight. Like, that's all I've been thinking about.
Oh my god,
This big ass wolf.
Big ass wolf. Hi, Jacob. He's gonna be like, excuse me?
On his hind legs. What'd you say?
Hi, Jacob.
oh my god.
Oh, hell.
That's crazy though. That like the majority of it are like dog-like creatures.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All of my stories were dog-like creatures, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Except the middle one. They just said glowing eyes, but I pictured a dog.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Like, okay, so the one that I have, which is weird, so they're all from cultnation.com. And there's like 12 stories on here, but there's just a few that I was kind of like, oh my God. So, it doesn't say the names of anybody. It's just the stories. So this one guy, he went to his cousin's house, to his grandma's house, but he was with his cousins, right? So there was like 3 of them in there. And they had to, I think they were like around 13, 14 years old. And they were staying up late and they were telling like scary stories. So they decided to like do like a campfire in their grandma's backyard. So they go in there and they're just like there. And his grandma lived in like a suburb, but like one of those rural suburbs. So like the neighbors aren't too close, but they're not like that far. So he says each house is on like a hill. So they like there's kind of like each house is like on a hill and it kind of goes down, you know, like this. So it's like a wooded area, kind of like in the middle of these houses. So they said that they were going towards, like, they decided to go exploring. So they're just walking around, right, the neighborhood and everything. And they hear like this weird sound that's coming from the tree. So they're like, oh, let's go explore it. So they go inside. But there was one of the cousins that was like hesitant and they didn't want to go in there. They didn't bring a flashlight or anything, but they said it wasn't like pitch dark yet. It was kind of like twilight, I guess. Like it's dark, but you can still see a little bit. And they were walking through in the trees for like 5 or so minutes. And they saw in the middle of the path that they were walking on, like a dog-like creature is what it says. And they said that the creature was hunched over and it was hunched over, but it was like on its hands, you know, kind of like this, like on the ground. And the guy says that the one thing that he remembers the most is that they had really bright white eyes, this one creature. And he describes it as a humanoid dog shaped with a human-like head, but the body of a dog, but had human hands and feet.
Ew.
So it had like a human head, but the body was a dog and the hands and feet were humanized, I guess. I don't know. And it said that it looked right at them and all 3 of them felt like paralyzed. Like they couldn't move, they couldn't run. They just felt like staring like at this thing. And eventually the cousin that was hesitant to go in there like screams like for his life. And they started like running back like to the house. And he says that after that, he doesn't remember too much because as he was running, he felt like so disoriented and he felt like if everything around him was kind of like swirling.
Spinning?
Yeah, like spinning.
Gosh.
Like he didn't know like what was going on. He felt so disoriented. And he said that he thought maybe his cousins were playing like a prank on him. Like there was another cousin or something like that did that. But it wasn't true. And so he said that entire night that his bed was like by a glass window. And so he could see out. And that he said that the creature was there the entire time. He said every single time he would look out like of the window, the creature was there, like just hunched over staring at the house. And he said that it was like really chilly, really dark after that. And that after that encounter, like for the next 2 days, he couldn't feel easy and he couldn't like go to sleep after that.
Oh, hell.
Mm.
But can you like imagine the boring life of like a skinwalker or a ghost or something? They're just sitting there all day, like just like come out, bitch. Like don't outside.
You be like, hurry up.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for you home.
I'm waiting.
Okay, so this next one, the title freaked me out because it says it was neither fully human nor fully animal. And it was in New Mexico. So it's this father. He says that he was always one of those type of people that is like, I don't believe anything. I'll believe it like when I see it. But like stories and stuff, he never really believed anything. Well, at the bottom, he puts, yep, I'm a believer now. He says what he saw was not fully human nor fully animal. And so him and his son was 10 years old, and they had just moved into a new place. And so they were kind of like, I guess, walking around the neighborhood. I guess. And so they had called it a night, and they're like, okay, let's go back to the house. So they're walking back to the house. And as they walk up to the front door, he saw a figure move from behind his neighbor's car to a nearby tree. And it stood between the two houses. I guess they were like townhouses, because he says apartment, but the way I'm looking at it, I'm like, I think he means like townhouse. Yeah. So it was like one of those townhouses. So he said it had red glowing eyes, snarling teeth, and it had a rotten smell. He says that it did move quickly, but not quickly enough to avoid the light from the nearby light post. So he said that this figure looked like it was trying to like not be seen, but they saw it because of the street light that was right there. And so he says it was within 15 or so feet from them. He said he didn't look back to fully inspect it, but that what he could see was it was a wolf-like animal that sort of resembled the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, is what he said. But it wasn't cartoonish. It was like a real life beast, is what he says. So imagine like the Beast, but in like real life.
Not like the real life movie though.
Yeah.
He's still
He did. But I don't. It was weird. But that his son like quickly turned around and like grabbed his legs and was like, "Dad, did you see that? Did you see that?" And that his dad was like, "Oh, like see what? Like no." So trying to like trying to like make it not like
scary.
And so he said that he told his brother-in-law, and that his brother-in-law was kind of like, "No, like you didn't see that. It's nothing's here. Like it's fine." He said that his brother-in-law seemed kind of scared. So he says he doesn't know if maybe his brother-in-law might have seen the same thing.
He's in denial too.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And he says that even though to this day he can still picture what it looks like, he knows they exist now, and that he prays that he never has to encounter another one again.
Oh, hell.
But can you imagine like just walking to your freaking house and then like you turn around and see something like, ugh, no,
Scary.
Was
like
it
that.
inside his house or was
No,
it outside?
it was like outside.
So he saw it like from the window?
No, they were walking up to their front porch, and he turned around like that.
Okay. I misunderstood you.
Yeah, so he said that it came from his neighbor's side and went behind the car. So it was trying to like go like quickly, but there was a light post there, so it didn't know, and it went through the light. So he saw it like right through the light. So it was like maybe like 15 feet, like maybe across the street or something. And that's what he said. He turned around and like saw it and then just turned back. And his son was like, "Oh my God, Dad, you should see that." He's like, "Nope, keep walking."
Nope. I didn't see
keep
shit.
walking.
Who are you? Just in denial for everything.
Yeah, I was like, ugh, I cannot. I cannot. Okay.
Yeah.
So there was another one that it happened to this 12-year-old boy. He said that his family owned a farm, and they were actually on an Indian reservation, and it was during Christmas time. So he says that they have like a little farm, and they had cows. And so he said that they had just came in, they ate dinner, and that he heard the cows like freaking out and like going crazy. So he's like, apparently there was 2 like wild dogs that would try and come and get everybody's like crops and stuff. So he's like, cool, I'm gonna go like kill these 2 dogs because they keep trying to get everybody's crops. So he says he goes to he says that the encounter was like perfect for a scenario for a horror movie, is what he says. Because he says it was really cloudy, there was a full moon, and it was breaking through the clouds just as like the snow had fallen that night. And he says that the moon was like shining through the clouds, and it was like light illuminating like the snow like in there. And he said that it looked like super creepy.
That sounds so pretty.
I know, right? I'm like, I want to be in snow. It'd be so cute. But anyways, so he said he grabs the shotgun, he's running, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go kill these dogs. Well, he does see 2 dogs in the field where the cows are, but he says that the dogs were standing up, but he thought they were standing like, you know, like against a cow, trying to like bite the cow. And he says like, oh, perfect, I'm gonna get like both of these dogs. Well, he says that he goes to like pump the shotgun, right? And the two girls.
What you eating, girl?
The 2 dogs heard him like pump the shells like from the shotgun, and they both stopped and they looked directly at him. Like even though they're far, like They're far away, but not too far away because he can still shoot them, but far enough to where, like, I don't think you could have heard, like, that kind of thing. So he says that they looked at him and, like, stared at him and that he just, like, froze because then he could clearly see, like, what they were. And then he says, after that, they ran away on their back legs. So they were standing up and running.
Can you imagine?
I'm sorry, I'm laughing, but it's all
Can you imagine though, like seeing that? Like dogs. I mean, I get like seeing dogs stand on their hind legs, but run
away. Yeah.
Ew,
Like,
weird.
And if for them to be like as tall as the cow or taller than the cow.
Damn.
Because he said that when he saw them, they were like standing up. So he thought they were like this, like on the cow.
On the cow.
And I'm like, can you imagine seeing like a dog do that though?
I'm sorry,
like, I
but
could
like,
not.
Like, I'm looking at it in my head and it's funny. Like, they're probably like, keep going, cows. Like, conducting traffic.
They're all herding the cows.
Oh my gosh.
So he said that he froze because he's like Indian, right? So he's native. And so he says that all his life he grew up hearing all the ghost stories and like the stories about skinwalkers and everything. And he says that as soon as he saw them run away, that's the first thing that popped in his head. And that he's like, all up until then, he's like, now I believe in the boogeyman.
Oh my gosh. Hey,
I was
sometimes
like-
it takes an encounter like that for you to believe.
For you to believe it.
To be a believer.
I know, but I cannot like, ugh. It's just weird that they're all like dog-like creatures and it freaks me out because I love dogs. And I'm like,
Can you imagine like seeing Benny on his hind legs and then you're all, come here, Benny. And he's just like running towards you. On his
You know what I
hind legs.
think?
He's on mommy.
you know what I think? Those yellow lizards from Holes.
Oh,
That's what I
Yeah,
think.
those were so ugly. What were those lizards called anyway? Now they're gonna be in my head.
I don't know. Yellow something, yellow tail.
I thought it was yellow skin or I don't know.
Something like
I don't
that.
know.
But when he was like, they ran away, that's what I thought. They ran away.
They were so ugly.
Oh no. No.
I was thinking Mr. Tumnus from Narnia. Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Oh my god.
Mr. Tumnus. He's on his
Yeah.
hind legs and just like running away.
Oh no. I think I would laugh if I saw that though. I would.
I don't know. I think I would be freaked out in the moment, and then thinking back, I would probably laugh.
Yeah. I'd probably be more like, what the fuck?
That's crazy. So, what was your encounter?
Okay, so I had just found like one story, like I was looking on there, and so like I found one, and it was like, I think it was around like 11 something because Nick had just gotten home, and then we're just laying in bed like watching TV, and then my brother's friend was over and he was like staying there, and so he's like, hey, I'll be right back, but open the door for me if you can open the door for me when I come back. I'm like, okay. So we're laying there and it's like 11:30 and all of a sudden I hear like it sounded like whistling, but then it sounded like a little bird or something like chirping. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And I thought it was my brother's friend because I was like, oh, okay, maybe he's trying to like call us. But I'm like, he could have just texted us. Like he has our numbers. And so I was like, what the fuck? And I looked at like Nick, and you know how Nick is. He's like, it's nothing, like it's no big deal. And I'm like, what is it? And so like it started freaking me out because it kept going. And so I was like, what the hell? So then I got like really scared, but I go to the window and I like open the blind like to the window and I'm looking outside. I don't see a thing, but it sounds like it's right by the window, like right underneath. And it literally sounded like a whistling, but then not a whistling at the same time. It was weird. And like I asked my mom and I told her and she was like, well, because she lives right by McAllister Park, right? Like literally it's her house, the street, and then McAllister Park. And so she was like, we get all kinds of different animals. She's like, even some animals that I've never seen before. And I was like, the heck do you mean animals you've never seen before? I'm like, what the hell? So I started telling her about it. And I'm like, well, there was like I don't know. It was like, it sounded like maybe like like the bats, like when they squeak. It sounded like a bat squeaking, but then somebody whistling at the same time. That's what it sounded like.
It was a skinwalker bat.
It's a hello, friend.
It was just really
Let me
weird.
suck your blood.
It was like so freaky. It sounded like it was like right by.
Fucking coddle. Welcome back.
Thanks.
I don't know what it was, but I couldn't see anything. Like I'm looking out the window and I'm like, what the fuck is that? But it sounded like super close to the window.
You
like
know
it
what's
was right
freaky
outside.
too is they live by that. Is there a ditch right there? Yeah.
Yeah. There's like the ditch
shit.
right there. And so I was like, oh my God. like I don't know. And the
Help
weird
me.
thing is too, is that my mom, like they have deer like in the neighborhood and she always goes out and like feeds the deer and like the carrots and stuff. And so they're always like around, but they weren't there that night. They were gone. Like there was no deer at all. Cause we see them every night cause she'll feed them.
Yeah.
And then like, so every single time like they come cause they know what time she's going to go out and feed them. There was no deer. And I was like, what the hell is that? But I haven't heard it since and I couldn't see a thing.
I'm
It
gonna
was
go dress
weird.
like a deer. Feed me.
Feed me carrots.
Feed me carrots and mustard.
Sorry. Maybe we
Yeah.
should have told you.
It was really weird. I was like, what the fuck?
Spray you down with
I know.
holy water.
We'll sage you and spray you down in holy water right now.
I told my dad the next morning and he's like, see, he's like, your podcast. He's like, you're bringing it here. He's like, you got to drink some holy water. Just pour it on you. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, Dad, we haven't even done the podcast yet. I was like, come on. But
So,
yeah.
I do have an encounter story. It's not Skinwalker related, but it's kind of related to haunted house.
Oy.
This was wrote in by Madi on Instagram. She said that this is a kind of a short story. She said, in my old house next to my mother-in-law, my daughter was always over there because it was literally right next door. Well, the door was super easy to open. All you had to do was just slide a card through the door and you can get in. She said, well, we had chickens, Carmen and Junie, and we put them in my daughter's room so they would stay quiet. The only time they would go crazy was if someone was in there. I remember that morning I went to the restroom and noticed that her light was on. Didn't think anything of it, opened the door, turned it off, went back to bed. Then I woke up again to the chickens going all crazy. I can hear stuff moving around in my daughter's room. I still didn't think anything of it. Maybe my in-laws were getting some clothes for my daughter. But that was my first time having sleep paralysis as well. I remember while the chickens were going crazy and everything was moving, I couldn't move. It was like something was on top of me and all I could do was hear and move my eyes. It was like hot breath breathing on me and I couldn't do nothing but freak out. I fell asleep again, then woke up, kind of forgot about it, went to the restroom. My daughter's door was wide open and the light was on. So I sat on the bed and called my mother-in-law and I asked her if anybody went inside to get clothes for my daughter. She said no, that they all barely woke up. At that point, I was freaking out because I remembered all that happened in the morning. My daughter never wanted to play in her room by herself. She would always make me turn on the light in the restroom, the hallway light as well, and it would have to be during the day. My brother-in-law lived with us too at the beginning, and that was his room at first. He eventually moved out because he said he was always having nightmares and he felt as if someone was watching him. Toys would randomly turn off and on. We never really went in there besides to get my daughter something to wear. We moved out last year, so far, now everything's good with our new house.
Oh,
Nope. Mm-mm.
dang. That's a lot of activity.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
in that one room.
Yeah.
I told Nick, I was like, when we go like house hunting, and if I tell you we're not getting this one, it's for a reason. Because I'm telling you, if I feel something, we're not moving in there.
Well, I think it's crazy too that because she knows like the only times the chickens would go crazy is if somebody was in the room with them. So the fact that the light was on, she heard somebody rummaging around in the room, and then the chickens were going crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then her mother-in-law's like, no, we just woke up.
Yeah.
I would have been like, we're moving. We're moving right now. Let's
See you
go.
later.
Clothes already in the
That's
car.
so crazy.
I would have been like, screw the clothes. We can
And
buy
she
some
had
more.
sleep paralysis that morning.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hate sleep paralysis, yo.
Mm-mm.
It's scary.
Horrible.
I hate it.
It feels horrible, and then you can't wake yourself up. It takes me a while to do something to wake myself up.
Yeah.
I don't like the feeling of me not moving. And even though like I feel myself like awake and I can't move, I hate that feeling so much because I'm trying like so hard to move and you can't. And I'm just like,
I hate it.
I had sleep paralysis like last week or the week before.
you did?
Yeah, but I was just laying there. It was dark. My room is like pitch black. And then I just thought it was Salem that was like, Salem, oh my God, voodoo. Oh, I miss Salem too. I thought it was voodoo that he was in the corner making noise. But it wasn't because he was next to me and I knew he was next to me. And I was like, there's something in the corner. I know there's something in the corner. And then I woke myself up and I'm like, okay, I'm going to stay awake. Right. I was like, I don't want to go to sleep. I don't think I was going to work the next day anyway. I was like, oh, whatever. I'm going to get on Facebook. But then I actually woke up. It was like a dream inside a dream inside a dream. It was so
I hate those.
weird.
Those are the worst.
And I couldn't wake myself up, so I started blowing kisses. I always do that. That's
kisses?
one thing. Yeah, I'm like, and then like, I'm like, oh, and then like I finally wake up. I don't know why. It always works.
Blowing kisses?
Blowing kisses.
Because like you can feel your mouth
I
moving.
can feel my mouth, so that's what I do to wake myself up. I'm like, and then like if there's someone, I mean, not like I sleep with anyone, but like if Brianna or anyone were to ever like sleep next to me, they're like, why are you kissing the air? I'm just like, I'm trying to wake myself up. But that's that's my weird thing.
Ooh, tell them the story about your hair.
Oh my
Your
God.
hair?
I was at work. We recently moved our desk at work to make more room. And so my desk now is like, it's my desk and then another desk behind me and then like a big hutch. So I'm kind of like in a little cubicle thing, basically.
Yeah.
I'm like in a corner and I'm next to that big vault. Remember what was the ghost name that we would call it? Lupita. So I'm next to the big vault, the medical records room. Remember that room?
Mm-hmm.
I'm next to that room, that little hallway. But anyway, I was talking to my friend Lena because she came to ask me something. And then I just feel like my hair, like somebody pulled my hair hard. And so I was like, what the heck? And Lena was like, what was that? I'm like, I don't know. And I was like, I literally felt like somebody just pulled my hair hard. And I don't know if Lupita didn't like the way we moved the desk or we were making too much noise or I don't know what happened, but somebody pulled my hair and there's literally no one behind me. There's a freaking wall. So it's at work. Somebody pulled my hair.
Really?
Yeah, because one of our other friends got her hair pulled, right?
Monica.
Monica.
She was showing us her bridal photos when she took her bridal pictures. And I think I told the story before, but her head just like yanked. And we were in the medical records room and her head just like yanked back. And she's like, my hair's caught on something. And I looked and her, like a strand of her hair was being pulled in between like the files. And then I said, let her go. And then it just like her hair just dropped. And she was like, at first I thought my hair was caught on something. She's like, but as soon as you looked back there, I felt somebody like tug at my hair. And her head yanked back.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no.
That's what I felt. I'm like, girl, what's wrong with you?
Rude?
Every once in a while,
And
she
then
comes out and pulls hair.
Also, too, what I'm kind of worried about is that they're going to start construction in that room.
They're gonna sit there.
Mm-hmm. So
they're gonna demolish that.
Yeah, they're demolishing it. So they're gonna start construction soon to turn it into a waiting area for post patients. So all of that's gonna be disturbed.
I don't know where she's gonna go.
She better not go to my office. She better stay upstairs.
Yeah, she probably will just move in next to me. I don't know. Here, girl, sit next to me, but just don't pull my hair.
Just sit there and just play nice.
Yeah, but even Lena saw. She was like, "What was that?" I'm like, I don't know. Somebody just pulled my hair. But it was so
they're
weird.
gonna do construction in that whole post area.
And what happened to her? Something happened to Lena too that day. I think she heard somebody whisper at her or something. I don't know. Something happened to her too.
Lena has a shadow people living in her apartment. So whenever we have shadow people, like whenever we talk about shadow people, I told her she should come on because she has so many stories about shadow people in her house. I told her, I was like, you can't write these down. You have to like come and be a guest and just talk about them.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But her house, I've been to her apartment. It's kind of like creepy. I saw someone staring at, I was like, who's at your window? Your kids? Because I think I went to go drop something off or pick her up or something. And she's like, no, they're asleep. And I'm like, so it's your husband? And she's like, no, he's downstairs playing Call of Duty or something. And I'm like, So who was at your window? Like I literally saw her blind, like her curtain open, like someone was looking. I thought it was her kids because it looked little. It looked like, you know, when a little person peeks. That's what it looked like. And then every time I pull up like at her apartment now, I look up to see if something happens, but I haven't seen it yet.
Just so like I know, Ashley was holding her breath the entire time we were talking.
It's always something right going on with
always something
us.
going
Like
on.
at first it was just me and Mandy, but now I guess Ashley.
Or like somebody going down my stairs. Remember that? When I told you I kept hearing somebody going down the stairs, but like Tim wasn't. This was when Tim was working at the office. He wasn't working from home yet, and I kept hearing like somebody go down the stairs, and I kept hearing tapping like on like the walls.
Tapping.
Mm-hmm. What?
Skinwalker.
Well, this is before we started the research, though. But yeah.
But they knew.
I'm gonna let Benny go potty inside now.
We're gonna
At
go
night.
eat sage now and drink holy water.
Yes.
Girl, it's gonna burn me.
We're gonna go cook some sage, eat it, and then drink holy water.
I'm like,
Sage
So,
Ashley down.
If y'all have any encounter stories y'all want to write in or any suggestions for future episodes, you can email us at scarynotScarypodcast@gmail.com. You can also email us through our website, scarynotScarypodcast.com. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Subscribe on YouTube.
YouTube.
Don't forget to rate and review us on iTunes podcast app. You can follow us on Spotify.
Podbean.
Download Podbean. Subscribe to us on Podbean. Trying to think of the other ones. iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
And I think that's it.
That we had that one.
Yeah.
I always forget we have that one.
You can also message us on Instagram or Facebook. We get a lot of listeners that message us through there too. So whatever you like.
To the group or personal. Doesn't matter.
Just don't send nudes.
Yeah.
Don't
send
like-
notes.
I really like them. I don't know who it was that emailed us, but where they were like, "Sorry, Ashley."
Oh yeah. So we did get a couple of encounter stories, but we're holding them because we have a few episodes coming up that would actually go with the theme.
Yeah.
So we're holding off on those. So your stories will be told in the next few episodes.
Yay.
But thank you so much for listening. And until next time, remember to always stay scary.